In the dark of night, two fishermen desperately cling to a plastic cooler and their lives after their boat sinks in the frigid waters of the San Juan Islands. Their fellow fishermen searching the area experience a sudden engine loss for no apparent reason, creating a miraculous window of silence, allowing them to hear the frantic cries for help.
We were fishing off the southern end of San Juan Island all day, catching sockeye. I was with my cousin Tony Gobin and my nephew Stephen Gobin. Everybody had bunked down and I had laid down and I had just fallen asleep. And I'd heard the radio go off about somebody, all I could hear was somebody putting on survival suits. And so I laid there for about 5 minutes. I said a prayer and I couldn't go back to sleep, and I kept thinking, well, where would they be going? What would they be doing? You know, and so are they looking for a boat that's still floating? Are there going to be lights on out there? Are they swamped? Nobody knew that they were in the water. Nobody knew what they were really looking for. And so I laid there for about 5 minutes, and finally I jumped up and I said, I can't lay here. So, so I jumped up, started up the boat, hollered at Stephen and Tony. They were down in the bow sleeping.
I get this wake-up call from Glenn saying there's a boat in distress and we better go. So we pulled anchor and we took off. This boat that was in trouble, the skipper of the boat happened to be my nephew.
We started out of the channel, and I was running the boat pretty hard, pretty close to wide open, and we were heading out. And there was a little bit of chop going through there, but it wasn't too bad.
We could see quite a ways away lights from other boats that had already joined the search.
And so we're heading out, and I'm thinking, well, I'm going to head straight out of the channel, and when I get about 3/4 of the way out to the buoy, I'm just going to make a hard right and cut across Salmon Bank and see what we find. It's kind of a different route. Figured everybody was looking in different areas. So we started out, we just turned to head right, started out across Salmon Bank, and I'm running pretty close to wide open, and the boat just died. And you have to understand my boat. I keep it in really well, and it operates well, not bragging or anything, but it's well maintained. And it has never died on me ever before.
Well, when the boat conked out, everything went quiet because there's the diesel motor on Glenn's boat. It's pretty loud when you're running. So when his boat died and went quiet, I was outside on the flying bridge, and I could hear some faint screaming. I thought perhaps it was the other boats yelling for the guys that were in the water.
Tony says, I can hear some voices. And so I get on the radio and I says, well, we can hear voices over here. And they says, well, some of the guys are hollering around over here, so maybe the voices are carrying. So I took that, but I was thinking, well, man, that's quite a ways for the voices to be carrying.
Glenn got the boat started, and I said, well, let's go over this way. Let's head over this way. And we started heading that to the direction I heard the voice.
So I started out across there, and we weren't going very fast. And Tony and Stephen were on the flying bridge working the hand spotlight, and I had the big main spotlight on. And something on the corner of my eye caught my attention, like a piece of debris, and I almost skipped it, but no, I'm going to swing over and just take a quick look. And so I turned just a little bit and to see what it was. And it was just some debris, but after I realized what it was, Tony hollered, there they are.
I spotted a reflection, a slight reflection. It turned out to be a reflection on the survival suit. And so we went over that direction, and of course Glenn was a very skilled skipper, and we were real careful not to run over them because that could have happened real easy. But pretty soon they came into view, and we saw them clinging to a little cooler. That was all that was left. And I could only imagine how they felt when they saw that big light coming towards them, you know.
Joy on their faces when we got close to them, that they were happy to be found. Had it Had it not been someone else's guiding us through there and the boat to shut down for whatever reason, I don't think we would have found them, at least as quickly.
So anyway, we pulled up next to them and began getting them up on the boat. We're pretty thankful for the outcome. I personally believe that there's a purpose for everything. That young man has something to do in his life, and it wasn't time for him to go, and the other young man as well. And I believe when you look at it through the eyes of your faith, you can see purpose in everything about it, not just for them, but for every one of us.
If anybody's a hero here, it's God putting us in. We're just His people that He put in the right place at the right time. There wasn't anything, I don't think any one of the fishermen wouldn't have done and were not doing themselves out there at the time. We just happened to be the ones that happened to find Him.